set up, the main thing you want to do is just go through it and make sure it's completely filled out. But something that Jason Patana says is you don't really want to make a bunch of changes at one time. So get your page set up once and then maybe go back through it and kind of, tweak things over time, but maybe like 1 to 2 changes per week. I wouldn't go too crazy with it. But when you're setting up your profile, it's totally okay. Set it up as best you can. The best thing you can do too is so whenever you search, I'm just going to open up a new tab so you can kind of see. You want to see how your Google page is shown on the internet. So I'm going to look up my name, Christine Cooper, Oak Harbor, Washington, and then your page should show up. So search your name, search your market, and then this is what it's going to look like to the consumer. So it's got some photos that I added from my Instagram account. It's got the outside of my building, the address for my work, for my office, my clients. Whenever I close a transaction, this is where I'm leaving the Google reviews. You just want this to be as complete as possible. And in order to do that, you'll go right over here on the left-hand side and click Edit Profile. There's also a feature to promote. So whenever Jason's talking about Google Ads, this is really where he's kind of starting from. This is really the first type of Google ad. And then from there, you can get so much deeper into it. But this is really step 1. You want to make sure that you've got this little blue check mark. And this just means that you are Google verified. And then there's another step that's called Google screened. So when Jason talks about local service ads, you have to make sure that your profile's already been claimed, which then gives you this blue check. Then you can go through the Google screening process. So we'll go there next. But so it gets very confusing when he's talking about things because he kind of jumps around. But once I realized, once my page was set up, I claimed the business and that part was complete, then you can go through the Google screening process. Any questions before I go through the edit profile feature? Okay, cool. So you'll want to click there and edit your profile. From here, you can click on, business information, hours, products, services, add photos. So I feel like a lot of you probably at least have your business information in here, about your business, your business name. I highly recommend when you set up your account, if you haven't already, set it up with your personal email address. So that way, if you ever do have a change of brokerage or you are on a team and then you're moving teams or however, that move works, you always have ownership and you don't have to request any access from your brokerage because that can get a little bit tricky. But I recommend putting your first and last name. I like having something searchable like realtor or real estate agent. And then I have to have my brokerage name following behind it for Washington law. And then your business category. So this is another thing that Jason talks a lot about is making sure that the category that you're set up under is what the majority of agents in your market that are the top searches, you want to kind of match what they are. So that way your algorithm pulls you higher to the search. So when you go in to check to change your business category, you just click the little pencil. When you start typing, apparently you can add multiple categories now. This is the last time I did this, I wasn't able to. But if you type real estate, there's a few different options that pop up. I listed real estate agent as my first and then agency as the secondary. And I'm going to show you guys exactly why. So when you open up a new tab, I have to minimize my screen here. Sorry, I can't get to when you open up a new tab, you want to search real estate agent and then your market. So I'm going to put Oak Harbor, Washington. Then you're going to get a list. So this is where, if you have your Google business profile set up, you're going to show up right here. But the local service ads and Google screened agents show up at the very, very top. So I want to see how their accounts are set up. So if I click on more real estate agents, their categories are listed right underneath their reviews. So it says real estate agent. And so because they all say real estate agent, that's what the category I chose to be my primary. If it said agency, then I would recommend making that your primary. It's just different in each market. So let me I screw this up. Okay. So yeah, so my primary is real estate agent to match the top searches in my market. And then secondary is real estate agency. I don't know if there's a benefit to putting a secondary. I feel like it can't hurt. And then you can, just kind of tab through here, add your contact information, definitely link to your website. Obviously, in order to even set up your page, you have to have a location. So I think most people probably at least started there. I would recommend putting your office address or an address if you work from home. I mean, then your home is kind of public information, so that could get a little tricky. Definitely include your service area, because this is going to be incredibly important whenever you get to the next step of becoming Google screened. Your business hours. Mine, I'm closed on Sunday. Apparently I'm closed on Saturday, 9 to 6. I work whenever people call me. So I just like to have some boundaries to the public. And then you can kind of just go, click through and go through each step there. Any questions before I move on?
I have a question, Christine.
Yeah.
Skolnick. Hi. You said that in your name that you claimed, you have, so your name and then you have realtor.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have that on mine. If I edit that and add realtor to my name, is that going to then create a whole approval process and all that? Or you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it won't take your profile down. What I recommend is whenever you think of something you want to change, I just have a little running list on the side of my laptop or my computer. And then whenever I have a couple things that I want to change, I just go in and do it all at once. So that way, if you're going to make one change to your name, just, if that's the one thing you want to do, just go in, hit the edit button, make that one change, but you don't want to hit the edit button multiple times because that's when your profile will get flagged. But if you're just going in one time and making a few changes, you should be okay.
Okay.
We have another question in the chat about team names. If you're on a team or you have a team, does anyone have a best practice for how to name your Google My Business profile? And I'll say I have a team and I named my profile my team name. So mine is Maison DeBlanc Real Estate at my home group. But all my reviews say my name, and my name is in the bio, and it's in so many different places within my Google page that if you Google my name, my business pops up. So Google is smart enough to know that I am the owner of the business, and I'm still going to come up. That page is still going to come up when they Google me, but it doesn't have my personal name in it. I don't know that that's the right way to do it, but that's the way I did it. Did anyone else do something similar or have an answer to that question?
I do mine as both. I put my name and then a dash and then estancia group. And then I've got all of my teammates, I've had them all create their own and do the exact same. So the team name is out there in each different location, but also our personal names.
That's what I heard was the best way to do it. Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're fine. I used to have a personal page and then one for my team. And then I don't know what happened. I think I changed the address on one of them and Google just linked both of them and deleted a bunch of my reviews. I still have I think almost 90 reviews or something, but it was well over 100. But they just linked it themselves.
Going back to the last one, I forget who was speaking, but when you said that your team members have their own pages, how does that work for reviews? Because I'll tell you, I want to be selfish and I want all the reviews to be on my team page. I don't want my agents to have reviews on their page, and I don't want them all split up. I want them all in the same pile. So how does that work with reviews if your team members each have their own page?
They do their reviews on their own. That way, I agree. I like to be selfish. I take every review and put them on our website so that we have them all in one lumped area there, but that we each have our own little bit of branding as well. I'm it feels like it gets a little more spread out. And we all, since Dallas Fort Worth is such a big area, I have found agents in different parts of the Metroplex. So we each have our little own expertise, and I don't mind them having their own, but I can completely see your reasoning.
Yeah, I was really asking too, because I didn't know if there was a way that they could link them, or if, if they all stay on each individual account, but it sounds like they stay on the individual accounts.
I think Jason just said that Google's making some changes so that there should be like a team level. Cause like even Zillow has that now, where you've got the team and you've got the team members.
Yes.
I remember him saying this at Elite Retreat, that some changes were coming and there was going to be some hierarchy like that. So it may not be the time to like change it entirely. Like if you've got your team name set up, maybe just keep it like that for now. They've got to be coming to that pretty soon.
Okay, I
Okay.
have a question. So I went to Google myself and, like realtor in New Hampshire, and a bunch of searches come up, but I don't come up on this side because I didn't end up verifying my, my Google page. So when I go into business.google.com, it does have my profile, Sarah Lucas, New Hampshire Realtor. But then it has underneath it like random addresses, and I think it's like my listings or whatever. Where do I go to edit?
So let me see. Let me move this little bar here if I can. It always blocks the very top of my screen. So, okay, so right now, let me go back to google.business so I can show you from that way.
Okay, perfect.
Which one was it? It's this one. So business.google.com. If you scroll down, there's going to be a button that says, like, you should be able to edit from within. Do you see like little pencils on yours?
No, none of that comes up on my, oh, hang on. I think I'm in the wrong place. Hang on. Okay, yes, I do see little pencil marks.
Perfect. So then you can just go in and edit like that. I will say though, I actually prefer, because each time you click a pencil, that's an edit on your profile. So I actually prefer to go to, if you scroll to the top, my screen's minimized, but there's somewhere where it has a little Google G and it says view on search. If you click that, then it actually pulls up the way that you show up on Google if someone did find your profile. And then click the edit profile from here. That way you can make all the edits at one time and not have to make a bunch of individual edits.
Okay, so you said that it shows a little thing that says view.
Yep. So let me go back to it. Yeah, so it says your business is live on Google. It's like, it says view on maps, share your business profile, view on search.
Okay, then I'm not even live on Google. That's how behind I am.
It should be on there. If you saw the pencils,
Yeah,
do you want to share your screen?
sure. But I think you have
Oh,
this-
it probably won't let you.
yeah, it's okay. It's
On
okay.
so when I was on my phone, it showed up at the very bottom underneath all of this stuff. On my laptop today, it's in the top right, not top right, but like center of the screen on the right-hand side.
We can always meet again and just do like a one-on-one to take a quick look at your page and just make sure that you have it set up.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But
I'll reach
yeah,
out to you, Sarah.
so if you do go that way and you are, you click view on search, this is how your page should show up. And then click on edit your profile. The other thing I wanted to talk about was products. So for those of you who have your profile set up, Jason's talked about adding products, adding services, but I was like, what product like do I add as a realtor? Like, I don't feel like, I mean, you can't really add a house, you can't add a listing type of thing. So I spent some time with this, but your buyer's presentation, packing lists, your seller's presentation, any guides you've put together for buying and selling, those are all products. And I was talking about this with someone and they added their buyer's guide and their phone started ringing. Like people were actually calling because the product was now live. So I actually just recently added my home buyer's guide. And then I was thinking just this week, like, what else could I be adding? And so I'm going to go back through it and add like a packing list, just any other like tools and resources, because what this does is now it's going to live online and it's going to kind of serve as a lead magnet. When buyers are moving to the area or they want whatever resource you're putting out there for free, they can now, grab it and download it. But when they click on mine, it's going to actually take them to my CRM they have to enter their information in order to download it. So now I've captured their information. So that's kind of a step up with lead capture. But if you're familiar, if you have a CRM like Flowdesk or MailChimp, and a lot of them do this, but you can definitely you can capture them that way.
Christine?
I had a question.
Yeah.
Do you know if this counts as an edit, or is it just like photos, you can do it?
I think with products, well, because I had to click edit profile in order to add it, it might count as an edit.
Okay, so you don't recommend to do like 2 changes in one day?
Yeah, that's what Jason said. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't do a bunch at a time.
Hey, Christine.
Uh-huh.
It's Maria. Okay,
Hi.
so hi. I've had my Google business for a long time, and I don't know if you guys remember Sean Ryan. He's my coach, and so I'm using the product page actually to add all my listings. And with that, when you can add several photos, interior, exterior, pretty much in your product. And so what it does is that I always select learn more, and I use my the actual landing page for the listing. So if you have listing to lease, or if you have a specific lead page for your listing, use that link, and that's tied to my CRM. So I know what they're looking at, and I can easily, introduce myself when I see them, doing all these activities. And for the most part, you can track pretty much the number of people that actually clicked on that particular product. So I tag them.
Oh, whoops. I think I just muted her on accident. I'm so sorry.
No worries. So it's okay. So you can actually do different tags like in new listings, sold, all those things. So I add that to as a product, because the more clicks it does, it will help with your SEO.
I freaking love that. Where do you go
Can
when
you
you add
guys,
product?
under the products, can you add multiple listings then, or just
Yes, you can. And
Right here, it
especially
looks
if you
like.
have like, for example, you guys are running like a contest or a drawing, for example, and say, hey, or an open house, you could actually do that. You can create your own status. You can add listing, open house. And so when people go look at your page, they see a bunch of stuff, but just make sure that you disposition that if you already sold the product. So,
and then is that
a lot-
considered an edit then every time you go in to do?
No.
No?
So the edit he's talking about is really on your profile.
Okay.
So I've had the experience of the siren eye, and let me tell you, it took me 2 to 3 weeks to do so. The biggest change that they don't want you to do is anything about your profile. So if you're changing your business name, like say, for example, you are on a team right now and you're on your own, please make sure you only make that change one day. And then don't touch it for 24 hours or at least 2 days. If you have to change an address, and your business name all in one day, or even your category, if you keep on adding those and you did it all in one day, they flag that, because they would think that somebody is in your account doing some fraudulent items. So that's what happened to me. And but as far as adding products, you can add products just like you're posting daily on your social media.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing.
I was
No
gonna
problem.
share. My name's Marquesa. I'm in Colorado Springs. Under products, I have different categories set up. I have like all products, and then I have buyer and seller, and then I have a template. So after I close on a home, it goes on the template with just basic information that says like what it was listed at, what it sold at, because now things are selling above list price. So I like people to see how much above list price my listings are going, average days on the market. And then I have a different background color for listings. And then the buyer ones, you know, you want to make it clear that it's not your listing. So I have something about, you know, happy to help these buyers purchase their dream home or something like that. So just trying to build up the products.
Marquesa and Maria, would you be willing to put your Google My Business page in the chat so that we can look at your products and how you have those set up?
Sure.
Yes, thank you.
No problem.
I have a question. I don't know, because I don't think anybody mentioned video in the product section. Is that where people are putting videos, or are you putting them in photos? I can't figure out where to put video.
So I've been doing videos, and what I'm having such a hard time uploading them. So when you go to your Google My Business page, there's a button that you say add post. You click that, then you have to hold your screen, literally the video recording, while you're making the video, but it can't be too long. You have to keep it, I want to say it's like 90 seconds, if that. If it's too long, then you have to edit it, and then you're not able to upload it. I had an issue with that yesterday. That's where I'm really stuck. And then I'm interested to see if you can add those videos under the products.
Yeah,
you
you can
have
only
videos under photo. Go ahead, Ashley.
You can only do the small videos because I called them also. And even when you try to take, like if you do long form videos and you try to compress them, it's still too big to upload to your Google page. So you can upload, like if you download it from Reels or your phone, as long as it's short, but you can't do like longer than 90 seconds at all. But I've just added it to posts, and people see it that way.
Okay, cool.
Hey guys, for the size of the video or any file that you're going to upload, make sure it's only 75 megabytes, nothing more than that, or else it's not going to be uploaded, especially if it's a video. I've had videos where I think it's about 3 to 5 minutes, but you want to compress that to be at least no more than 75. I use a compression tool, and there's actually a free compression tool online, and you can upload your video. And if it's still 100 megabytes after compression, you can re-upload that same file at 100 megabytes, and it will be reduced enough for you to post it on GMB.
Amazing.
Good info.
No, that's so awesome, because it's like once you get to the post and like you want to get creative with it, it is not so user friendly. So
did you say which compression tool you're using?
I just type in compression tool. It's like free compression tool.
Okay.
And it's actually free, but you can only do it one at a time. What I typically would do is after uploading for the first time and I got the download, I will X out of the tab and open another new tab and re-upload, because they're going to ask you to, what do you call that? They're going to ask you to subscribe to it if you do.
Okay.
Awesome. Any other questions about like setting up your Google business page, or should we move on to ads?
I have a quick question. For the phone number, do you put, do you have a barn number or something like that? Or do you put your cell phone?
I just personally put my cell phone. I'd rather them call me.
I saw in the Tom Ferry Elite Facebook group yesterday or the day before, somebody was posting about getting a lot of spam calls. And then somebody recommended using a Google line, like the Google phone number. And that helps to reduce the spam, because I guess whenever anyone hits on your ad and they call you, it costs you money. So if you're getting a bunch of spam, that could be a solution for that. I just read that there, so.
Melissa, I see your hand is up.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, hi. So I've had my business name as, I own my company, so I've had it as Staged Nest Real Estate. Instead of Melissa Woodcock, Realtor - Staged Nest Real Estate. And I've had a hard time positioning myself. So when I do a search, a Google search of find a realtor near me, and I put in Latham where I'm located, I don't come up at all. So do you think it'll help if I change it to Melissa Woodcock and then put the name of my company? Or most people who are broker owners, do they put the name of their company and that's it? Or do you think adding my name will help?
Anyone else want to take this one that's had similar experience? I always feel like your name should be in it, but that's just my,
Okay.
I feel like it's searchable.
No worry. I just changed it to Melissa Woodcock Realtor, but I'm a broker. So I'm wondering if I have the realtor designation because I'm a member of the National Association of Realtors, but I'm wondering if you have to put your New York State licensed, title there too.
So for
I have
I'm sorry, I'm listening.
Well, main thing depends on how you're branded. Like, do people know you by your brokerage, your company name, or do they know you by you? Like, they're like Melissa a realtor. So it depends on that. So I have Maggie Gonzalez, MIG residential. So I have both so whether someone's searching me on MIG residential off my signs or my name, this way both comes up. Just depends how you're branded.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I just made the change. That helps. Thanks so much. I didn't even think of that.
And I think that's Roxanne. Is that
Roseanne?
Roseanne, yes.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Really quick. So I have a Google My Business page, and I have team members, and I told everybody get their Google My Business page. Every single one of them had the same issue where when they tried to get a Google My Business page, it said you have to go through the verification process. They tried to go through the verification process and they've gotten nothing. It said it was going to send them a letter. And so I've reached out multiple times through email because I can't find a phone number, or I have found phone numbers, but then they're like, no, this is not where you're supposed to call. But has anybody had that issue, and have they had a fix to that? Like, how does my team member get their Google My Business page when they're not getting the verification they need?
I did.
I did.
We all did.
It took
How did you do that?
It took forever. My assistant and my marketing team were the ones reaching out because I was having no success. But they do mail you something. You have to have the address that you have on there. You have to wait for whatever they mail you. And you have to, it's time sensitive also. But I hired, my marketing team did it because I was just like going crazy. I was like, you know what, I'm done. So, but it did end up happening.
But nobody has gotten anything. And we're talking months. I mean, it's been, and they keep redoing it and we still don't get anything.
So we had the same issue.
Experience. Yeah.
Can you share?
My marketing manager, after Google attempting to send that postcard twice to my office, which I'm here every day, so I would know if it came, never got it. We ended up having to call them, like some 800 number. She called some 800 number, and they had to force it on their end to approve it after numerous phone calls. But
can you share that 800 number with me? Because
I'll ask her. Yes.
Okay. I've called like 6 or 7 numbers that I found, and it's not.
She might have even started with the little help desk widget thing in the corner.
Right. That's what I've done multiple times.
It might have generated from that. Let me ask her and I'll get that.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
I had the same issue. So we were waiting for the postcard. It just never came. And I had my assistant working on that. In the end, we just gave up. I think we were into 4 months. And I don't know if any of you guys have YLOPO, but we went to YLOPO and then they ended up setting it up, and it was up in literally 2 or 3 days.
Okay. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I also know that I struggled. I never had an issue setting up my business page because my brokerage had a Google business page already. So like it synced really easily with the address, thank God. But where I struggled was when I was trying to get Google verified. So whenever I showed that list of agents, let me see if I could find it again. Like this list where the agents showed up at the top, the Google screening process, this took me forever to finally get it to go through, but it was just like, I kept trying. And they originally required a postcard to be mailed to you. You enter the code, and then you enter your E&O insurance and your license, your state license and everything. But it takes, just a little bit of time for them to verify it. Now, finally, I'm on the list, but it took seriously forever.
Okay. Well, it's been forever. But
Well,
I'm
good luck.
patient
Hopefully that
and
number
keep
helps.
trying.
Yeah. The other thing, so going, to Google. So the other thing I wanted to touch on, and I want to respect everyone's time too. So Korinna, how are we doing on time?
We're good on time, but we should probably jump into ads.
Okay. That's where I was going. So that's perfect. So the next step is once your profile is set up, you probably want to get Google screened. So to do that, ads.google.com. So this is how it shows up. And you just click start now. I think I have this. I saved the page yesterday because I didn't want to lose it. Bear with me one second. Okay, so then once you click start now, this is what it looks like. And so you go through the eligibility process. Only certain fields can be Google screened. And so realtors, I think lawyers, maybe mortgage lenders, like a few different fields that hold state licenses. So you put in your state, your zip code, your category, you check your eligibility, and you kind of go through this process to create your ads account. And then from there, the screening process is it, kind of takes you through. I can't click through here or it will totally screw up my account. But this was something that took me a while to figure out how to find. And so I ended up going to support.google.com, and they have a ton of really helpful links. So in there, I was able to find kind of step-by-step how to set up the Google screening process, and just kind of following along with the links. And I wanted to show you, let's see, here we go. So whenever you go in and you're now once your Google Ads page is set up, you can, let me exit out and just show you how I got there. So you just click new campaign, and then all of these different options show up. And so if you click on one, it kind of tells you, what you can expect. Leads. I remember, Jason talks a lot about the video ads. So like the YouTube ads and the display ads and things like that. So the video ads show up in here, and it's called product and brand consideration. Brand awareness and reach. This is where you can create those display ads. You can do, again, the YouTube ads through this way. And then local store. So like local performance ads, increasing foot traffic. So in here, this is where I am not a professional, an expert in this. I'm just becoming familiar enough with it where I started running some ads. In order to get Google screened, I had to create a set budget for my account. So I think the minimum for my market was like $500 or $600 a month. I'm not even paying that right now. I think that's just like if I were to continuously get clicked. But what's nice is my phone does ring now, and people are finding me from Google just because I got Google screened. But in here, all of this kind of came after the Google screening process.
So is there a difference between verified and screened? I'm assuming there is.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So verified looks like
the blue check mark.
The little blue check mark. And that means you've claimed your business and Google verified that is you. Google screened is that next step where you go through and create your eligibility. So you go, oops, sorry, where was the one? Sorry, I have so many tabs open because I didn't want to lose anything yesterday. Grow your business. When you go to ads.google.com and you click start now, you create your eligibility, and then you go through the verification process. And I just left it up on my screen for weeks. I like would never exit out because I didn't want to lose where I found it once I found it.
Okay, good to know. I need to do that process.
Christine, I want to add on the Google screen. So the biggest advantage with getting your business Google screened is because when somebody types in, say, for example, top realtor in your area, your name will be on the very top. It will say Google screened agent. So you're going to be ranking more than Zillow, Trulia, or anybody who are actually advertising. It's also sort of like an advertisement for you, but it puts you at the very top of the page. So you want to be Google screened, not just verified.
Yeah. And it also, your budget plays a factor with that, because when I search like best realtor, Oak Harbor, Washington, oh, where'd that list go? Hang on. Here we go. So like these agents, I guess, are just paying more than me because I'm showing up, here on the list, but I'm still getting phone calls. So then you go in and you have to, once you get the the Google screened check mark, then you go in and actually have to create, add all of your profile information here as well. So it's like a completely separate thing, all within Google.
Christine,
Uh-huh.
do you know, so when I click the get started, it doesn't prompt the eligibility questions. It just says, okay, let's start your new campaign and add, but I know I'm not Google screened.
Let me see. I'm going to click it. Let me go. Here we go. I wonder what comes up whenever I click this. Yeah, I think it's just going to pull open my account. So that part, I'm not sure. You'll have to go to ads.google.com and then see if that can help.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I wish I had more of an answer. But in here, with all the campaigns, what's funny too is now it's showing that I had like, I guess 8 recorded conversations. So it really shows there's a place to find your leads too. I need to figure out where that is at, but it basically creates like its own Google CRM.
You were just saying that you need to figure out where the leads are. That's where we're having a hard time. And I had to play around with it so much yesterday. But once I finally found them, does anybody know how you can automatically get them connected to your CRM?
Automatically, I'm not sure.
I have Follow Up Boss as a CRM, and they told me that Google doesn't use, there's some code, and I don't remember what they called it, that Google doesn't basically have the ability to connect, at least to Follow Up Boss, like Facebook ads or, something else, like some other system that you might be using for ads. So anyway, I've had to add mine
manually.
Yeah, that's what I've done too.
Hey guys, I do local service ads, and those I have to go in manually, but I also do pay-per-click ads through KV Core, and those pop up automatically, and they can distribute to the team.
When you say pop up automatically, like they pop up in your CRM?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's because it's going through the KV Core, because whenever I use,
that's why our office just launched KV Core, and then I was talking to the guy at KV Core. So if any of you guys have KV Core can screen you and get your Google My Business set up in the background. And then I guess they have a way where those leads go to that KV Core CRM.
Awesome. I know that if your MLS offers HomeSnap, there's like a free version and then a pro version. My HomeSnap syncs with my Google page now because I paid for Pro, and it's like $99 a year. It was super affordable. They actually post to my business page probably weekly. So like this was 2 days ago, they posted this on February 7th. So almost, yeah, it looks like every couple weeks they're posting something.
Yeah, I've got the same thing. But then even with that though, I know with our HomeSnap leads, those will go into our follow-up box, but not the Google leads. So it's weird.
Yeah, same thing for me. The HomeSnap leads go through my follow-up boss, but it won't, not the Google. What's funny too is the Google leads, they don't come in as leads because it's just, for me at least so far, they've only been direct phone calls.
Phone calls, right.
So they even just show up as a phone number. So I have to make sure and go back in and like enter all their information so I don't forget who's who and all of that.
Well, the good thing is that the phone call is recorded and, you can go back in, but, it's a shame that it doesn't collect the email, because if you didn't ask for the email, you only have a phone number.
Totally. Yep. Any other questions? I didn't really want to go too deep into ads because it's really outside of my area of expertise. But I found this page to be kind of pivotal for me to start dabbling in different things.
Where did you say the phone calls, the recordings of the phone calls were? I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah,
so if you go into Google,
so the calls that come in from Google Screen, if you go to adwords.google.com, they'll bring you to your page where you're verified, and then you can click on those lines and then click on leads, and that's where your leads are going to show right there.
Sorry, I'm trying to see where.
And then also your recorded calls are there as well.
There's also a way to get to it from Google My Business, and I've got to remember how, but I played around with it the other day. So within Google My Business, there's a function that you can click on your leads, and then it will show you all your phone calls, and then as well as the recordings. So you don't have to go into a bunch of things.
I find the app is a little more user-friendly on finding the leads than
how do you find it on the app?
Yeah, mine don't show up on the app. It says I don't have any leads.
Oh,
or calls.
Interesting. Well, I
downloaded the app yesterday,
and the local service ads pop up as all of them.
Oh yeah, they just show up as like, I don't know if you could see my phone, but okay, so it shows for the week. And the phone numbers show up there in the app like automatically. What's funny is they're not pulling up here. Yesterday, I was able to find them. Huh. But yeah, Google is its own little beast.
Does anyone have any thoughts on how much per week that you're paying for the Google leads, for the Google business?
I'm doing 500 a month, and we were doing 300 a month, and I started getting a lot of calls, and then I'm like, okay, let's up it to 500. But I think it just varies on, I don't know how they, I don't know how they do it, but my budget, I'm never over budget. I've never run out. I'm always under, and then they just carry it over the next month. I want to say it's around $47 to $80 a week. That's what I want to say.
Does anybody else have any issues getting almost only exclusively leasing calls?
I turned it off. You can turn off that you don't want leasing leads, and that
I still get them.
The number of calls I was going to get, but they're so much better now.
I'm still getting them. I shut off rentals. I'm still getting phone calls like crazy.
Yeah.
I ran an ad and I got a whole bunch of rental calls, and I had that turned off, and I got charged for every single call.
Yeah, so did I. It's so annoying.
You guys can dispute that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I tried disputing it. You can dispute it through Google. You can dispute it through the business Google Screen. You can dispute it through there. but you can't dispute it through Google. I already tried that.
So
when
on
you
your
run
ad,
an ad, when you run an ad, they're two different entities, believe it or not.
Yes.
Which types of ads are you guys seeing the best return with? Because I know they have, like, I tried the Google local services, but I haven't really seen much with that. But I didn't know what other ads people are using.
I find that they're completely different types. I've gotten faster leads and, come list me, I need to buy within the next month through local service ads, but I get more through pay-per-clicks. They just are colder.
Okay.
How do you differentiate between how that lead is, whether it's a LSA lead or a PPC lead?
They're set up in completely different formats. So local service ads is its own entity. So it was really annoying. I was trying to get some stuff combined and I was called local service ads for help. And they were like, sorry, that's on your Google My Business and a pay-per-click ad. We can't help you.
Oh my gosh. Where do you run your pay-per-click? Is that direct from your Google business or that's separate?
That's through my KV Core.
Okay. Okay.
And it does my website and everything like that. But as far as I know, it just magically appears in my CRM.
Okay. Because I've only done those through HomeSnap, but the quality of the leads were horrible. Like people cursing me out when I actually call them and follow up.
I mean, it's cheap. So if we get 5 to 10, I'm happy and it pays for itself.
Yeah.
But the local service ads have definitely been the better. But all the people who had invested in Zillow seem to be moving to Google. And so all of a sudden, like the big money dogs have been playing in my park.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I need to get a better understanding of between the PPC and the LSA. I know last month for me was really busy with my Google calls. I think I got 20 Google calls, and these were all buyers between the price point of 1.1 up to about 1.5. And I mean, it was really good, but I don't know whether it's the LSA or the Google PPC. So I'm having a hard time understanding and differentiating the two.
Yeah. It's not very user-friendly from my experience.
Does anyone have like someone they've hired to run their Google business so that we kind of just, hey, here's an email, I'm going to email you a photo, because I want to get my assistant to jump on board and do this, but I mean, she's overwhelmed with other things I need ASAP,
We're looking into a virtual assistant to help us.
Oh, sorry.
I'll say I can let you know. I have Sierra and I can get up to $1,000 worth of ads and they will run it for me. So I'm starting that right now. I can let y'all know how that works like in a month or so once I get some feedback on it, but I'm literally just starting that right now.
Hi, Joanne.
Hey, Pat, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
My VA does a lot of my social, and anything she does on Facebook or Instagram, she also puts into Google My Business so that I'm at least having a post a day.
I put it in the chat too, but I just started using Zoho as a scheduler, and you can schedule Google My Business on there as well.
I've never heard of Zoho. I'm gonna check it out.
Somebody else recommended it. It's only like $10 a month, but you can do Instagram and you can do, whatever you want basically. But I love that it would do the Google My Business because that's the missing thing. And that's where, you get so much more higher in the algorithms and everything if you can post regularly.
Does anyone know if I saw a question in the chat? If you're on your Google business page and you click promote, is that a local service ad or a display ad, or is that just?
That's a pay-per-click.
Pay-per-click. Okay.
So Did any of you guys join the other mastermind for Google advertising that another member in the Elite group is hosting?
No.
I don't know if I've seen that.
Okay, so there was another one that I joined. They do a mastermind once a month. And they were talking about these kinds of stuff and how to run.
Oh, Sergio. Yes.
Sergio, that's right.
Yes, I'm in that one. Yes, I'm sorry. I forgot about that one. Yes.
So that one went way over my head. I don't know how you felt about it, but it was just like, okay, here you go. Here's Google My Business. Now run an ad.
Well, we are about out of time, ladies. Before we wrap up today, I wanted to see if you guys had any ideas of what topic you would want to explore and dive deeper into next week, or not next week, or in our next session, which will probably be a week or two out. One of the things that was really brought up a lot in the Facebook group was that you guys wanted some ideas on different ways to get listings that maybe you're not exploring today. Maybe whether it's non-owner occupied campaigns or circle prospecting, what services and tools people are using to execute those. But does anyone have any recommendations of things that they would like to talk about? And if you do, just put them in the chat. And then we are going to try to find some experts on those topics that can help to present to make it kind of like what we did today, where we're learning a lot and then also sharing with each other as well. So
I love the idea about trying to figure out ways to gain more listings. I think that's our biggest challenge this year. Sometimes I don't sleep worrying about it. So I think that would be invaluable. And Korinna, I want to thank you for having us today.
Yes, thank you.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you guys both for hosting. You guys are rock stars.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thanks
for
showing up.
We will be sending out the link to view this in the playback if you guys are interested, and then we'll start working on our next topic and get you more information out. But thank you everyone for coming today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, ladies.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.